Hey, all you beautiful people. Mike Arocaro here, Mr. Utah Real Estate. Got another podcast. It's been a little while. Back in the podcast room again, but this time I've got a very special guest with me, my good friend and fellow real estate agent here at Real Estate Essentials, the one and only Miss Martha Garcia.
Hello, hello, hello.
How you doing today?
I'm doing well.
So what we're going to do today, we're going to kind of get away from real estate a little bit, and we're going to talk about your organization, your nonprofit organization called Passionate Wings. Passionate Wings is a organization that helps domestic women in violence, and if you want to kind of explain more about Passionate Wings, so what you guys do over there.
So Passionate Wings is a nonprofit that I designed back in 2018 in my garage. Remember that?
I remember that.
Yes, so I started in my garage, and it was just, I wanted to help women that were like my own mother be able to get back on their feet after fleeing a domestic violence situation.
So you help women that are leaving domestic violence to kind of get back on their feet, I guess.
Yep. So we do have like a building downtown that when I started in my garage, 5 months later, it just got so big. So we got the building downtown, and it's like a 2,000 square foot building, and we just have everything that a woman needs, especially like interview clothing, purses, makeup, just things like that. So we just help them with whatever they need help with.
That's wonderful. That's awesome. What inspired you to start doing this?
Well, honestly, it took me a long time because people kept asking me, gosh, what is your why and purpose in life? And I was all like, I don't know, maybe I don't have one. But then I found out like my purpose was to be able to start something like Passionate Wings, because I've always helped women my whole entire life. But why I had to dig in, why do I help women so much? And honestly, it started with my grandma. Blonde hair, blue eyes at the age of 13, had 13 children. So with my mother, it's with her being just a little tiny girl, every kind of abuse that you could even think of that's out there, my mother experienced it. So for me to be able to start something like Passionate Wings, to use my mom's pain and her story, we helped thousands of women.
Cool. And then, so you're helping these women leave domestic violence situations. What are some of the biggest challenges that these women have leaving these situations?
It usually takes around 7 times for them to leave, but one of their biggest challenges is they don't have their own money. They're stay-at-home moms. He's very controlling. Like, it makes her isolate from her own friends and family. So with him in control of everything, that's why these women are so scared to leave. And when they do leave, they're not thinking, oh, I better grab my makeup, I better grab my clothes, I better grab this. Their number one priority is grabbing their children and running out for safety. So when they come to Passionate Wings, we help them get what they need, their clothing, their makeup, and help them get back on their feet.
So you offer services such as, like you just said, offering them things that they can get back onto their feet. Like, what kind of things would a woman need leaving in a situation? Like, I'm sure she doesn't have time to just grab her bag, pack up some suitcases. She just leaves, right? So what do you guys give to her that she can use to
So first of all, we just give them a hug and let her know that she's not alone. She has us to help her. So we bring her into the building. We let her go shopping. Some girls don't like to wear dresses and heels.
And then when you say shopping, this is free shopping,
free
right?
shopping.
They don't pay you anything.
Nope, they don't pay us anything. So we just help them with like their purses, their makeup, all their hygiene items. You know, some of them don't even have toothbrushes for her and her children. So we stock her up with stuff like that, but mostly like a lot of stuff for interview clothing, interview stuff that she will need.
Do you offer any kind of services, like as far as shelters, or do you point them in the direction where to find shelters, or maybe some emotional kind of services as well?
So right now we are not a shelter, but all the other shelters that are here in Salt Lake in Utah, they have the women that stay at the shelters, but Passionate Wings has the stuff that they need. So all of the shelters know about Passionate Wings, and we partner up with them because they just come and get what they need and stuff, but we will give them like resources to get some kind of education and stuff like that.
You've been doing this for 7 years, not just the 7 years of doing this, but I know you've had some experiences before that. So of all your years of doing this and thinking about it and starting your organization, what's one of the biggest success stories you personally know of?
My biggest one is watching my mother finally heal. With her having all that, starting that abuse when she was just a little tiny girl and never getting any help. But all the women that we do help, my mom is finally healing. I can see it in her face. I can see it in her voice. And that's probably the biggest thing I can take out of this.
That's great. Yeah. When it's that close to home too, when it's your own mother.
Yes.
I'm sure you've got a big burning desire to help these type of women. So as far as the community, what kind of support can the community give to these kind of domestic survivors?
Well,
Domestic abuse survivors, sorry.
With the community, we just, it's just like a lot of word of mouth. When we pull events or when another community, they're pulling some kind of events, we always try to partner up with them because domestic violence is huge. Like last night, there was another woman that I just seen on the news that they found her body in the shed. And I remember in January of 2025, we were 3 weeks into the year and 3 women have already lost their lives due to the domestic violence. And that was here right in West Valley, West Jordan. So when we all start getting together, I believe we can actually make a big impact in this world.
And that's just the stories we hear about.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure there's thousands of others we don't even hear about. That these women are suffering and don't know what to do.
Yes.
So I love that you're doing this and that they have a place to reach out. So has anyone ever reached out to you prior to leaving the abusive relationship?
Yes. And so then we'll give them the resources of what shelters are out there or where to go, or sometimes we're driving out there to get them. We're taking them into Passionate Wings, getting them some stuff, and then we'll take them to the shelter. So we get a lot of women that reach out to us.
There's us in the community, myself. I've never experienced that kind of thing. I've never seen it personally. But what kind of misconceptions are there out there about this domestic abuse that we should be aware of?
I just think that a lot of people haven't seen it, but then the people that have went through it, the system is really hard for these women to get help because when he beats her up so fast and her whole face is just black and blue, she's missing teeth and everything, she cannot go out of the house. She can't go try to get a job or a job interview because her whole face is black and blue. I just think we just need to educate our children. It needs to be in our schools to let people know, especially women, you don't let a man talk to you or degrade you in any kind of way. And the first time he hits you, you walk out that door. But put your boundaries down at the very beginning and know your worth and make your own money, stand on your own 2 feet because of reasons like that.
Mm-hmm. So, great organization. We love all the stuff that you're doing for it. How do you pay for all this? How do you get funded? How do you run this thing?
Well, thank God I'm in real estate. So, because with this being my baby, a lot of times when it needed to be restocked or whatever, I'm just using my own funds to do it. But sometimes we do get funded by Larry H. Miller. We get funded by the local 140. So those donations that we get, we go restock up the whole building. Like one year we spent $2,000 just on bras. Because when the women come in, they have nothing. Bras, underwear, socks, nothing like that. So that's what we load them up with.
And I believe the space that you're occupying now, was that also donated to you?
Yes. So when I opened it in my garage 2018, it grew so fast. I couldn't even imagine how big it would have gotten so fast. So 5 months later, we got a building space donated to us, 2,000 square foot building, and every room is full of shoes, purses, makeup. I do have one room that's in there. It's a very special room. It has like angels and all the flowers. So the women that have lost their lives due to domestic violence, their family members have hung up pictures of these women in there. So it's a very soft but beautiful room.
And you're starting to grow that one already. So
yes.
If anyone out there has space, they can donate. Maybe another location or a bigger location. Reach out.
I would love to have a standalone store because right now our building is 2,000 square feet and we outgrown it. So my little one, she started Baby Passionate Wings like a couple years ago. She was writing an essay. I thought it was for school. And she said, "Mom, what do you think?" I start reading it and it said, "My mommy helps all the mommies. I want to help babies." So I let her run it the way she wants to run it, just because it's teaching her how to be a businesswoman and to just give back. So I would love just a standalone store to make the building organized in sizes, because right now it's not in sizes, and that's what we need help with, is organizing.
That's pretty awesome that she started the baby passionate wings. So not only are you looking for women stuff for women for donations, stuff for babies as well, right? So what kind of things as far as women and babies are you looking for donations besides money? We'll take the money. She'll take the money. But you know, what other things donations do you accept?
So we're running really low on makeup or like hair dye. We always can take purses, but the donations I do take is they're new or slightly used. So if it has pet hair on it, smells like smoke, stuff like that, I just can't take it. Or like clothes that you would see women in Vegas wearing. Those little dresses, the 10-inch heels, crop tops, booty shorts, I cannot take. So I am looking for interview clothing. That's our biggest thing. And the baby passionate wings, diapers, wipes, bottles, stuff like that.
Cool. Anything that a baby would use, strollers, car seats, toys.
Yep, toys. Yeah.
So yeah, anything that you when you've got babies that have outgrown everything.
Yep.
Baby passionate wings might be able to take that off your hands for you. So as far as the community, like government, maybe local law enforcement, or anything, do they support you in any kind of way as well?
Right now, we actually support them, like the district court. I'm partnered up with them, so they bring all their women that are going to court and they have nothing to wear. So they'll come into Passionate Wings. We get them their outfits. You know, we get some of them we give makeovers to. So I would love to give every woman a makeover when she walks in, just to be able to get her hair cut, her hair colored, and stuff like that. So we help out the district court a lot. And all the other shelters out there, women's shelters, we help out them a lot because they have the women and I have all the stuff the women need.
So I'm assuming you don't run this by yourself.
No.
You have a team, volunteers, right? It's all nonprofit, all volunteers. If anyone wanted to get involved and volunteer in some way, are you looking for volunteers to help you with anything?
Yes. So first of all, it's taken me years and years to put my team together because I was looking for people that have the same passion as me. Someone that was going to protect the Passionate Wings name, because this is my mom's story, my mom's pain. So it's her legacy. So it took me years to put it together. I finally got a really good team together. But with volunteers, we always need volunteers, especially with organizing. And some women, they love organization. Yeah. Like with me.
Organizing.
Yeah. With me, I hate folding clothes. I hate doing it at home, so I hate doing it over there. But some women love to do it, so they come into the building and they go to town and they do it.
Well, it's what they're doing it for. I think they really love.
Yes.
So whole folding clothes is a lot easier when you know what you're folding the clothes for, right?
Yes.
So volunteers to help you with cleaning up, organizing, folding clothes. What about like makeup artists or salons or anyone that would like to donate some of their services to like you said, you do makeovers as well. Do you look for those kind of donations?
Oh yes, a lot of salons will call me and give me a lot of hair product, hair dye, but we really need makeup. Like these women, they just don't have anything. When they leave the abuser, it takes them like 7 times to leave them. And a lot of women, they do lose their lives a year due to domestic violence. So the more we can all pull together as a community, the more impact we can make in this world.
Nice. Yeah. So if you in any way work with women and women's products and services and reach out to Martha, maybe you guys can team up and together help out these women that need it. So like I said before, I've never witnessed this kind of a thing. But what kind of signs would you look for? Like if you were to give advice to friends or family or anyone that they may suspect something is happening, what kind of advice would you give them?
First, I've always told all my nieces, my girls, my friends, if you get pregnant and you have a baby and you're lucky to be home, a stay-at-home mom, do something. Just don't do anything. When your baby's asleep, jump on that computer, jump on that laptop, start educating yourself, start getting licensed, start getting certified in things, because the more knowledge you have, the more experience. If you have to go out in the real world and get a job, you're going to be able to find a job and stand on your own 2 feet. So the advice I would give people is educate yourself, stand on your own 2 feet, be independent. But if there are signs out there with him starting to talk to you in a certain way, starting to hit you and stuff like that, get out of it. Get out of it while you can.
So I know, from what I understand, and I've heard, that these women in these kind of situations, they don't really leave the first time, or they accept it, but they feel ashamed at what's happening to them, or they're scared what's happening to them, and they feel ashamed or scared to reach out to anybody. So if I'm like, just as for example, maybe my sister or something, and Chris, I know you're not an abuser, so don't worry about this, but my sister, I might suspect that her husband is doing something. What kind of advice would you give me to help this person that I might suspect is going through this?
I would just honestly pull him aside and start talking to her and just asking questions, because a lot of women, they are ashamed of it, where they think it's their fault for getting hit and stuff. But the more we can educate, especially starting with your daughters, your kids at a very young age, know your worth and just put your boundaries down. Don't let people talk to you in a certain way. And it's a lot easier when you can stand on your own 2 feet. When you're making your own money, it's a lot easier to be able to just leave. But a lot of women are stay-at-home moms and they don't have a job. They don't have any money. That's why it's so hard for them to leave. And I honestly think the system is it is messed up, because it is so hard for people to get help, not just in domestic violence, in everything, like even men's mental health. If you look online trying to find some help, you have to go through all these loopholes and everything. It's really, really hard. The system needs to be easier for people to get help.
So someone who feels like there's just nothing out there for them, they want to leave this situation, they just don't know where to go, they're scared, they have no place to go, reach out to Martha, right? Because you'll point them in the direction and tell them what they need to do, give them support, give them the things they need to make that change, to break it, right? So I love it. I love everything you're doing and everything about this organization that you're doing. What is the goal that you see for the future? I know you started in the garage, like we talked about before, and I remember when you used to post those videos on Facebook. You got your boy and your guys setting up all the shelves, and your girls setting up all the shelves. And you went from a garage to a 2,000 square foot building. What do you see going forward? What's the future of this organization?
It's funny because when I got into my building and we made it as pretty as we can, then I sat there and I said, gosh, what's next? Where I accomplished this big thing, but what's next? I knew there was something more, because we can bring these women in, we can help them feel beautiful, we can give them beautiful things, but what's next? So my next thing is I want to expand. I want to be able to put Passionate Wings everywhere, because there's a huge demand on places like Passionate Wings. But not just giving them nice things. I want to be able to hold classes, education, where we can help them fill out a resume if they need to get on Medicaid, food stamps, if they need whatever they need. We need. That's what I want to do in the future, is be able to do something like that.
So kind of a one-stop shop, right? They just come here and they've got all their support and needs taken care of. So I love it. Everything about this is great. And I know I've never really looked into it, but I don't know of any other places that offer this kind of a support. So, and probably a lot of these domestic abuse survivors don't know either. So it's great that you're doing this. We're going to spread the word. Help us spread the word. There is support out there for this.
There is. And honestly, there's nothing like Passionate Wings out there. There's a lot of shelters out there. But the shelters are all calling me because I have the stuff that they need. That's why I know this is my purpose in life, where God gave me the big, loud mouth so I can go out and start something like this and help more women stand on their own 2 feet.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you joined me today. If you would like to add anything to this, shout out to any of your helpers, supporters, donators. Feel free. Give us a final message.
Well, thank you everyone that has loved and supported Passionate Wings for the last, we're going on 7 years now. But I believe all of us pulling together, we can make a huge impact in this world. And thank you so much for us finally doing this. It's taken us, what, like 10 years?
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
Well, yeah.
I've known Micah for, gosh, almost over 30 years.
It's been a while. Yeah.
Yes.
So we knew each other back in the day when our separate ways. Facebook kind of brought us back together.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about Facebook, I guess. It brought us back together. We went and got our licenses at the
Yep.
same time, kind of did the real estate thing.
Yeah, we sold our first house together.
Sold our first house together and went our separate ways. And then we're back again together here at Real Estate Essentials. So if you need real estate,
Call us.
call us. If you need support or you know somebody that needs support for domestic violence, please reach out. And I will leave all your information, my information in the description. So if you want to give her a call, check out the website, shoot us an email, leave a comment here. Go ahead and do that. And then if you're watching this on my channel or your Facebook channel, YouTube channel, why don't you give us a thumbs up, please?
Thank you, guys.
Subscribe, follow, leave a comment, let us know. But thank you again, Martha.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks.
And thank you all.